Welcome to this guided hypnosis session. I'm Andrew Major, clinical hypnotherapist. Now, if you've been feeling more and more irritable or easily frustrated lately, that the small things are getting under your skin more than they should, you're not alone. It's often a sign that your mind and body are under more pressure than you realize, caught in a cycle of stress and reactivity that makes it harder to stay calm, patient, and in control. So I've created this session to work with your subconscious to ease that inattention, calm your emotional responses, and help you build a new sense of emotional balance from within. I'll be guiding you to let go of old reactive patterns and reconnect with a calm, grounded version of yourself so you can feel more composed, more tolerant, and respond to life with greater ease and clarity. In a few moments, we'll follow the same process as we do in the therapy room, bringing you back to a full state of conscious awareness at the end of the session. Remember, the more you listen, the deeper it works, and please do not listen if you're driving, operating machinery, or doing anything else that requires your full attention. Only listen when you can fully relax and close your eyes. So now as you begin to make yourself so comfortable there, I wonder if you can remember how good it feels to allow your eyes to close as you listen carefully to the sound of my voice, just allowing any tension to flow away as your mind and body relax. And you don't need to do anything special, just listen. And let the sound of these words become more familiar as your mind begins to settle, almost as though it's been waiting for a moment like this. You can imagine now a house, your house perhaps, at the end of a long day. There's been movement, conversation, tasks, rushing, all the sounds of life echoing through the halls and the rooms. And maybe, for a time, it's been a little too much to hold, to keep track of, too many things needing your attention at once. But slowly, one by one, the rooms begin to empty. The hallway grows quiet. The doors gently close, and you notice that beautiful stillness, that stillness returning to this space. Not silence, but a kind of calm presence, where nothing needs to happen right now. And just as that house begins to soften, quieten, perhaps you notice how your own body begins to follow, the way your shoulders can ease down, heavy and soft now. How the muscles in your face, your jaw, your forehead begin to unlock, letting go of what they've been holding. Your hands can relax. Your arms rest heavier where they are, almost as though your body itself recognizing that something is needed in this moment. And your chest, perhaps you notice it loosening now. Your breathing becomes slower and steadier. All the areas relax. Your stomach, your shoulders, your neck, all beginning to soften now. And as your body softens, so does your mind. A gentle closing down of distractions, of tension, as if your awareness begins to move inwards now, into a room where you can simply rest. And just like that quiet house, your thoughts don't need to leave you entirely. they can stay parked outside for a while, waiting quietly. Because inside now, there's stillness, space, a softer way of being. And perhaps you'll begin to notice the calm comes not from effort, but from no longer needing to respond to everything. Just as a house doesn't rush to fill every empty room, your mind doesn't need to hold everything at once. Let that quiet expand now, through your arms, your chest, your legs, into the places where tension sometimes begins. And from this soft and quiet place, you begin to drift deeper, deeper and deeper into a state of ease where change can begin. And as you rest there in that quiet room, a room just for you, where nothing is needed and everything is still, you may begin to feel a shift, almost like something inside you is gently drawing inwards, as if the center of your attention is floating a little deeper, a little further inwards, like following a quiet corridor in that house, deeper into its peaceful heart. Each soft step taking you further away from the noise of the day and closer to the calm that lives beneath. In a moment, you can imagine each step you take as I count down from 10 to 1. And you can imagine that each step you take takes you deeper and deeper into a wonderful state of hypnotic relaxation. Not rushing, just floating deeper. 10. As your awareness settles like dust in a sunlit room. 9. Feeling the air grow still and soft. 8. Your thoughts grow quieter. 7. A deeper drift into comfort and ease. 6. Your breathing becoming slower and steadier. 5. Deeper now, deeper. 4. Almost as though time itself is softening. 3. With the comfort of knowing you don't have to do anything. 2. Just noticing how easy it is to be here. And 1. Arriving now, deeply, deeply relaxed, where your mind is open, receptive, and ready for something new. And perhaps you can sense a doorway inside this room that leads not outward, but inward. And stepping through it now, you enter a place beyond words, where deeper knowing lives, where old habits can dissolve and new responses can begin to form. This is your space, and now it's time for change to begin. So in this place of quiet rest, your mind begins to find a space to notice what's really been going on beneath the surface. Because when life has felt full of demands, responsibilities, expectations, the mind and body adapt in the only way they know how. They stay alert, braced, prepared for the next thing. And after a while, thoughts jumping a little too fast. So much of that response is automatic, learned, rehearsed over time. And here, in this deeper space, your mind can begin to notice that it doesn't have to keep doing things the old way. You're beginning to reclaim something now. A softer rhythm, a more centered presence, a way of being that feels clearer, more spacious inside. Because it's okay to feel steady. It's okay to let things pass. It's okay not to react. And what a relief it can be when your body remembers how to feel calm again. And as that tension begins to settle, so do the old habits. Habits of reacting quickly, of tightening up, or feeling pushed or pulled by things that used to get under your skin. And maybe you'll begin to notice you don't need to carry that anymore. The old response, irritability, frustration, the quickness to snap or feel overwhelmed. They may have once felt like protection, but now you've simply begun to outgrow them. And perhaps your mind's already discovering new ways to respond, ways to feel calmer, stronger, more thoughtful, more kind. Because you are becoming more tolerant, more composed, more at ease in yourself. And even when things don't go to plan, or someone says the wrong thing, you remain grounded, not because you're holding it in, but because it no longer has a grip on you. Now you are free to choose your response. And when a moment arises where you might have once felt that old emotion, perhaps a flicker of anger or irritation, you simply notice it. You pause, you breathe, and something inside you waits. A new part of you knows you don't need to follow that old pattern, because there's a stronger part now. The part that calmly responds instead of reacting. Assertiveness becomes easier. It flows from certainty rather than emotion. You simply say what needs to be said, clearly, simply, calmly. And you let go of what doesn't need to stay. You might even begin to notice something else. That the more you give yourself this calm, the more you're able to offer it to others. You give them space, a little more patience, a little more understanding, even when they don't act as you would wish. Because you no longer need to take everything personally. You meet others with the same grace you've begun to offer yourself. And every time you choose that calmer path, you reinforce it, you deepen it, until It becomes second nature. And you may be surprised by how much easier life begins to feel when you stop holding on to tension and start responding with ease. Because this is who you are becoming: calm, clear, steady, and in control. And the more you experience this new way of being, the more familiar it becomes, like something you're remembering. A sense of calm that was always there somewhere inside you, waiting for space to grow. And it's growing now, every day, in small quiet ways. You notice yourself pausing. You find yourself listening, and that calm grows stronger. You begin to feel more certain, more confident in who you are and how you respond. There's no need to get caught in every passing storm, because you know that calm is not weakness. Calm is control. Calm is a choice. Calm is a quiet kind of strength. And the more you trust it, the more people around you begin to respond differently. You feel respected, more heard, not because you become louder, but because you become clearer. Assertiveness becomes natural because you're not reacting from emotion. You're responding from clarity. And this clarity gives you space in your mind to focus on what matters, to solve problems more easily, to sleep more soundly, to feel less rushed, even when the world feels busy. Because now, the noise no longer gets in. There's a space between you and the chaos, a space you can return to at any time. In a conversation, in a meeting, in those moments, your mind can quietly return to this place. Just like the quiet house, you know how to shut the door and come back to stillness. Perhaps you'll be surprised at how often you begin to feel proud of yourself in the way you handle things now. Because this isn't about being perfect, it's about knowing who you are. You are someone who can stay calm, someone who can pause. You choose the best response that reflects who you really are. And that's exactly who you're becoming now. With each day, with each breath, a little more centered, a little more composed. And now, whilst you ponder on those thoughts, I want to share a story that people sometimes tell. A story of a lighthouse built on a rocky coast, where storms come fast and waves crash hard against the shore. For years, the lighthouse stood quietly. It never tried to control the sea. It never shouted at the wind. It simply stayed where it was, grounded, steady, and clear. And the ships that passed by, even the ones caught in heavy storms, always looked for that light. But it didn't flicker. It didn't panic. It didn't get pulled into chaos. It kept shining brightly. And in time, the lighthouse keeper realized that his job wasn't to calm the sea or to rescue every boat. His job was to stay steady, to tend the light and let others find their way through the clarity of His presence. And maybe now, a part of you is like that lighthouse. You don't need to react to every wave. You don't need to argue with the wind. You simply stay steady and shine brightly, bright and clear for all to see. And that calm, that clarity begins to guide your thoughts, your choices, and even the way people respond to you. You become a signal of something different, something grounded, not passive, but peaceful, not weak, but certain. Because real strength doesn't shout, it simply stands tall in its own space and shines brightly. And maybe now, you can begin to imagine yourself stepping back into the days ahead, carrying this new calm with you. Not as something you have to hold on to tightly, but as something that flows within you. You might like to picture yourself now, in a situation, in a conversation, or a moment of pressure where you might have reacted too quickly. And just imagine how you respond now, breathing softly, your muscles at ease, your mind calm and clear. You listen fully, you speak calmly, and you feel that subtle sense of space between stimulus and response. You don't need to win the moment, because you're no longer caught in it. And just as clearly, you can imagine someone around you, a friend, colleague, partner, noticing something different. Maybe they can sense it too. This quiet confidence in you. And you feel proud of that shift, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. In so many small, quiet ways, you're becoming someone who stays composed, who responds from wisdom rather than reflex. You are calmer, you are more patient, you are more tolerant and kind, not because others have changed, but because you have. And this calm strength becomes your new reality. It shows up in your words, your posture, your sleep, your choices. Even now, your subconscious mind continues this learning, integrating everything helpful, realizing what's no longer needed, and deepening this calm identity within you. You will go through your days feeling easier, more natural, showing up as this version of you, composed, kind, confident, and completely in control. And as you imagine yourself in those moments, responding calmly, breathing with ease, feeling grounded in your choices, just take a few moments now to allow those thoughts and responses to grow in your mind. Let your imagination gently walk you through those situations again, visualizing the calm in your body, the space in your thinking, the way your voice sounds, steady, kind, certain. Because every time you rehearse this new way of being, your brain begins to accept it. Your mind begins to treat it as real. You're laying down new patterns now, like paths in a garden, each step reinforcing the route until this calm response becomes second nature. So just take a few moments now to allow those thoughts and responses to grow in your mind. And in a few moments, you'll begin to return to full awareness, bringing with you all the calm, clarity, and ease that lives more deeply within you. There's no need to hold on to anything, because everything helpful is already a part of you now. Your body knows how to stay relaxed. Your mind knows how to respond, and your deeper self knows what to carry forward. So when you're ready, you can begin to come back, gently reorientating to the space around you, perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes, noticing the surface beneath you, breathing a little more deeply now, as you allow your eyes to open when it feels right, bringing with you a renewed sense of calm confidence, a lighter body, a clearer mind, and the quiet knowing that you are more in control than ever before. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and don't forget to keep listening to reinforce the powerful suggestions. The more you listen, the deeper it works. And let me know in the comments how you're getting on, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.